Well, Maruti Suzuki seems to be churning out AMT versions of their cars faster than Coca-Cola can churn out these new bottles with these mum, dad and brother stickers on them. But it's all good news because you get plenty of options to choose from. And talking about options, if you are planning to sell your car first before buying this one, then you should consider Cars24. Visit any of their 50 branches and sell your car at the best price. Not only this, Cars24 will immediately transfer the money into your bank account and will also take care of all the paperwork, including the RC transfer. So do check out Cars24 today. Well, so nothing on the interior has changed from the regular manual version of the car, but it's always good to get a bit of a refresher course in terms of how the interior is. Now, the soft touch materials are still there, and that's good news. All the buttons for the AC are nice and have a soft touch to them, and you get the same touchscreen system away which you get in other cars across the range. It has Android Auto as well as Apple's CarPlay. But the best part about these interiors are these seats. They offer you very good cushioning. They're not very soft and neither are they very firm, so they offer you the proper and the perfect amount of cushioning. The support for the lower back is excellent, and you also get these nice bolsters on the side. That's not all. The hob also is long as well as wide, offering good support for your under thighs. Well, the boxy shape on the outside means that the Vitara's cabin offers you very generous space on the inside. Now, headroom, as you can see, is more than adequate, and my height for reference is about 5'10", so someone who is about 6'2", 6'3", or even taller than that has plenty of space. Knee room also is decent for this kind of car and this size of car, because remember, this is a sub 4 meter car. Now, the width also is quite okay, so you can have 3 occupants over here. And the best part of these seats is that they offer you very good support and very good cushioning as well, just like the front seats. And you get nice and wide windows at the back, which means that this cabin does not feel like a claustrophobic place to be in. So with each new AMT version that Maruti launched, they keep improving the gearbox on this car, and not only do they improve the gearbox, they somehow also seem to improve the refinement of this engine. And on the Vitara Brezza, I have good news for you. The engine feels nice and decent in terms of refinement. The gearbox also feels a little more responsive than it does on the Swift and the Ignis. The same gearbox, remember, is also used on the Swift and the Ignis in the AMT versions. And this one definitely feels a little more crisp in terms of operation. Both upshifts as well as downshifts are a little more crisper than on the Swift as well as the Ignis and Desire. Now, this engine does suffer from its traditional problem of turbo lag below 2000 RPM, and that's something that you simply cannot ignore. So to get the best power out of this engine, you'll have to keep it between 2000 and 4000 RPM, but that's not such a big issue because remember, it is an automatic and you don't have to constantly change gears. But yes, you'll have to keep it above 2000 RPM to get the best juice out of it. Now, if you're not very happy with the automatic settings and the automatic gearbox, you can always use the manual settings over here. You can always shift it up and down to shift gears. And I have to say that in the manual version, it is a nice and crisp gearbox. It definitely has very, very good responses, and it doesn't have too much of lag. Yes, as soon as you hit this gearbox over here, the gear lever over here, the gearbox changes gears really quickly. Well, now what buyers will also appreciate is the suspension setup. Now, it definitely has a slightly stiff edge to its ride, but that's good news for people who drive a lot on the highways, because this car really does feel very planted and very reassuring when you do triple-digit speeds. But even in the city, the car displays pretty good comfort levels, and there's very little that will enter the cabin, especially if you transverse those rumble strips and go over those expansion joints. Well, you will also appreciate this steering wheel. Now, it's a nice and feelsome steering wheel. The communication is pretty positive, and you will enjoy using this car because it's neither got too much of weight in it, and neither is it very light to operate. So it's got the right amount of weight for using it in the city. You won't feel very tired when you're driving this car. But that said, because the suspension is stiffly set up, when you take this car on those hilly sections and push this kind of corners, there's hardly any body roll, and the grip level from the tires also is very good. One more thing which makes the Brezza a nice car to drive is the excellent glass area all across. Now, you get a nice and chunky pillar in the front, but you also get these nice rearview mirrors which give you a good view of the road behind you. And that's not all. The back window also is pretty big, and all the windows all across give a nice view. So driving this car on the highway or even in the city does have its benefit, and there aren't any blind spots off, so to speak. Well, sales of the Vitara Brezza have been on complete fire ever since this car was launched, and the automatic version should simply extend those sales figures. Now, rivals should seriously consider bringing out their water hoses and try and stop the success of this car, but it's going to be very difficult because this car really does tick all the boxes for anyone who wants to buy a diesel compact SUV. Yes, it is that good. It offers you a fuel-efficient engine, it offers you nice space inside the cabin, and what's more, being a Maruti means that resale values will be strong as well. So in short, it is a great all-rounder and a car that you should definitely go ahead and check out. It's bye for now and hope to see you soon.